Hello everybody and hi, my name is Kieran and welcome to the first installment of Kieran's Kitchen. Wow! This is an idea for a show that I've wanted to do for a long time and now we're finally doing it. Ain't that great? This isn't necessarily a baking show, though it very well could turn out that way. Today, I wanted to start with something that I think is really cool. Medieval history. If you've been with the channel for really any length of time, for as long as there's been a sword video on the channel, you know that I like swords. And more than that, I like medieval history. If I was a rich man with money to burn, I would study it. But I am not. I am poor, cold, and hungry. And what do I hunger for, you ask? Only the finest of ancient cuisine. The medieval honey cake. I have a book of medieval recipes that are authentic and true to life, and they've been slightly modified and clarified for the modern palate and capabilities. This recipe is not from that, but there will be some to come. Today is a recipe I found online, and it seems simple enough that even a small little bimbo like myself can probably figure it out. And you, at home, can figure it out as well. Here's what you need. Cake flour. For cakes. Canola oil. For cakes. Milk. Okay. And of course, honey. I don't really know why, but I'm not gonna refuse it. And also, like, you know, baking, dishware, and utensils, but this is the main stuff. If you have these, you have a honey cake. What is it from? Is this the 1300s? Is that when this recipe came out? Is that when Ramsay dropped this hot bit of knowledge? 11th century. 1200s even. I'll link to the website that I'm taking the recipe from so that you guys can do it for yourselves, and also so you can learn a little bit of history. It's sweet. Ha! Just thought of that. So now we've got all our goody gumdrops. Let's get to work. I don't know how much this actually makes this recipe, but this little hat will probably do it. The recipe calls for a 9-inch baking sheet. This is what I have, a roughly 9-inch square casserole dish. Be there or be square. Because bees like honey, you're not making a square honey cake. Please subscribe. We're going to need 3 cups of cake flour. It'll be mixing together flour and honey. When reasonably combined, mix in oil. If unreasonably combined, put in back of barn and shoot. Just doing it for you? That was just the outer layer. I didn't actually touch the bag. To wash my hands now. Baking is a very time-consuming endeavor with me because I don't like things on my hands, so I am constantly washing them and re-washing them. Oh, that dropped the rag. 3 cups of cake flour. Oh boy. 1. I've never used cake flour. We always just have all-purpose. It serves all the purposes, but this recipe called for cake flour, and I want to be as authentic as possible. I don't know if Robin Hood was around when this recipe was made, but if he was, I'm sure he would want his flour to be used for this concoction. That's already quite a bit of flour, actually. There you go. All right, first one down. Haven't burned anything up yet. I wouldn't call myself a capable chef. I would call myself incapable. I'm not a chef, I'm a cook. I can follow a recipe very well. And even when I do, sometimes it goes really badly. I tried to make sticky buns once. There was a lot of steam coming out of the oven and everything tasted burned because it was kind of like spit roasted over, because it called for water with the butter. That was a rough day, but my friend made snickerdoodles and those are delicious. Shout out Maples. I bought this entire bag for that, so my sister should have some great fun with baking, or maybe I'll make it again, who knows? I can be saucy like that. I once made an apple pie, it took me 4 hours, because I'm a slow boy. I can't be rushed. That's something that people need to know about me. I don't rush things. I do them well or I don't do them. Next calls for an entire cup of honey, which looking at this, that might be all of this actually. Hold on. Oh my God. I mean, I might as well just bottoms up. Whoa, that smells strong. Kirkland. I mean, the real stuff. Here we go. Oh, that looks heavenly. And I was right, that is, oh my gosh, I'm gonna need another thing of honey. I'm not good at understanding or guesstimating volumes or anything numerical, really. This is just a cup, right? Yes, okay. Oh, I didn't realize how much a cup of honey truly is, but now that I'm faced with my hubris in person, hey there, he say. I'm on a diet, can only have a cup of honey a day. Ain't it the most tragicest thing you ever heard? My great-grandfather used to drink just a cup of maple syrup. A true Canadian him. He was diabetic. Almost there. Man, honey does not, at least this honey, does not smell good in like large quantities. It's a very sharp smell. Yeah, I think that's about enough to call it. Oh wait, there's another glob. If you want to see what a cup of honey looks like, that is actually quite heavy. That's a cup of honey. That is a cup of honey right there. What you call that? Mix flour and honey. You've got it. Oh, that just looks beautiful. Oh, that nice crimson. Are you kidding me? Right, meow? This is gonna take a minute actually to get it all out. I need a spoon. Curse my averagely length arms. There's a small little rubber spatula. I feel like Chris Evans with the helicopter. Okay, little spatula. There we are. Is the assumption that I'll use an actual like proper beater? No, it doesn't say to beat them, it just says to mix them. So I will use a whisk. All right, that looks about it. I'm a bit of a honey whore, what can I say? Feast your hot little peepers on that. It's just an island flooded, no! Flooded over with honey. All right, let's mix this together before I lose my composure and just feast. Would a whisk be best? What did Melania say? Be best. My sister does a lot of baking. I do not a lot of baking. But I think that's what makes this all fun, you know? It's like an adventure. Oh my. Oh, this is delightful. Oh, well, I'm having unholy thoughts at the looks of this. Okay, that's not actually as thick and difficult to blend as I thought it would be. It's a bit granular. Just a little bit granular. Maybe that's just how these cakes was. Palates change over time, kids. I guess the oil is probably what's gonna act. Oh yeah, there's no eggs in this. If you're allergic to eggs, like my mother, you can enjoy this cake. She can eat eggs in cake. She can't have uncooked eggs. Okay, maybe this doesn't help anybody. So the oil is probably gonna act as an adhesive. If you're ever out of eggs, quick fact, you can use human blood to act as the binding agent in baking, so. Not just a pretty face. I'm going to break this whisk. I've come to the conclusion whisk was not this is what, oh my goodness gracious. How this thing? Will this be adequate for mixing? Honey. Just sitting here in my Valenciennes trying to bring out the fabulous, man. Why it gotta happen to me? I'm wasting valuable resources. I've only one honey cake to make. Cruel, cruel world. A quick batter taste test. That was definitely unhealthy and I might get salmonella later, but if the cake tastes like that, then I'll be a happy boy. I think this constitutes reasonably mixed together. It's not super granular, it's a little chonky, a little lumpy. Let's grab some oil and mix it in there. It's Knerf or Knuthen. Ooh, it's a half cup of oil. I have a 3/4 cup, but I can't do the math. There we go. Half cup. I'll need parchment paper. Do I have parchment paper handy? Oh, tell me I've got parchment. Oh, goodness graciousness, where is the parchment? Oh, there. I didn't really read the recipe. I just saw, hey, I can get those ingredients for cheap and went with it. I wonder, does this much oil and honey, does this make this cake more unhealthy than a different cake of modern times? I'm trying to be authentic, and authentic people partied hardy. How do I open? Ooh, you wanna miss this? That's right, darling. Oil me up. Stop. Stop. Man, this is a heavy cake. Heavy on my wallet. Oh boy, okay. I can't slurp any of that down. I guess technically when a recipe says that you should mix something in, you're supposed to put it in while the mixing is occurring. I think that's horse dookie. I'm not a cat that takes directions well. You know what I'm saying? I carve my own path in life. And oftentimes, I fail. But when I don't fail, I get right back up and I fail again. This is mixing way easier than I expected it to. I'm quite pleased with this. It's still a little granular, a little chunky, but there's one more ingredient that I think should probably smooth it all out. And apparently when it's ready, it'll have a consistency not unlike Play-Doh. I don't know what that ancient philosopher felt like, but I guess we'll find out soon. Oh, you wanna hear the mixing? That's a whap. Oh, some flour hath fallen to the wayside. Get in there, you cannot escape the flames. All right, we're almost there. Look at this. That's looking like actual proper dough. This recipe's so simple. All right, and there's honey on the handle, so I have to wash my hands again. I just recently got tested for a variety of mental conditions. The results are in the waiting. Now for milk. Mother Russia, we do not milk cow, we suckle. Half cup of milk. Mother Russia, we no have half cup. We have full cup everything. Ratio only for Twitter. Son Ivan, try to ratio me. I ratio him back. Get bent, son. That is really just stewing in the milk. And for all of you lactose intolerants, it is 2022, so intolerance is kind of less excusable than it has been in prior generations, but you can use plant-based milk if you're stuck in your bigotry. I said it. I'll just keep mixing it until it becomes like a Play-Doh. And maybe this Play-Doh will taste better than the Play-Doh I ate as a child. Isn't it fun to learn how I came to be the way I am the more I reveal of my past? When my mother was pregnant with me, she got hit in the stomach with a baseball. That almost certainly had an effect. Straight away. Okay, yeah, no, that's mixing together. Good. I'm actually that inexperienced with cooking and baking. I enjoy baked goods, and when I move out one day and my sister is no longer living with me and does the baking, I'm gonna have to take it up because I'm gonna miss my sweets. Who am I kidding? When I move out, I'm not gonna have the money for that. There's still a little bit of globular, which makes me wonder if a beater would be good. Or maybe now's the time for the whisk? Or maybe now is just the time to stop complaining, you plebiscite. I shouldn't spit into this food. I might give it to my family. Ooh, batter test. My chances of salmonella have doubled. That so far tastes very good. Consistency like Play-Doh. This is still very wet Play-Doh. If there is an easier way to do it, then my alibi is going to be the fact that I'm trying to emulate the old ways. That's the reason that I'm doing this in such a effortful way. I don't have the modern commodities like, you know, computers and phones. I have my ring light set up and I didn't even turn it on. Does this shot look better? I think it does. Gosh dang it. It's okay, it's just a pilot. We can make mistakes for now. I heard you like a man that can cook. We can party like it's 49 BC. That's before Christ. Some people call it BCE, before Common Era, which is a weird kind of semantical change because it still dictates the death of Christ. So it's not like you're not changing anything. Let's see, does that feel like Play-Doh? Oh, that does feel like Play-Doh a little bit. Oh, this is getting thicker than a Snicker, I tell you what for. How does this look to you guys? That looks about right, doesn't it? See how it's wet, damp, and kind of undulates on its own like Play-Doh? We played with the same Play-Doh, right? You know, most kids played with Play-Doh. Play-Doh played with me. It looked like a piece of gum, but it was so salty. Ooh, I took it off guard. Ooh, now I'm going this way. Now I'm zigzagging through the bowl. You can't predict what I'm gonna do next. I think we can call that about done, wouldn't you say? I would say. I guess I don't need the milk out here. Cluttering up my shot. I was in a cooking class once in junior high. Did you know that you can burn parchment? I thought it was at least largely inflammable or resistant to heat, but no, we burned it. We charred it. We had a campfire in our oven. Fun times. I once almost stabbed a kid. Not entirely by accident. If you're watching this, Jaden, you're a skank, and I hope you got better. That should... wait. It's not exactly a square. Can you use parchment with a poked hole in it? I mean, that kind of defeats the point of the parchment for a little bit. The punch is so deep, he's so troubled. Alright. We'll call that it. We'll call that it. We'll call that it. Dang it. The weight of my thick, juicy cake should keep it pinned down once I put it in there. It says I need to oil the thing, and I'm trying to do this as true to life as possible. Little do people know, there was actually, there was an ancient woman called Pam. No artificial colors, flavors, or preserved. Why would there be? Parchment and oil it up, like my supple nude frame. Whoa, that clears up my nostrils. I mean, worst case, I can just pop it back up with the parchment. It shouldn't be a problem. Thank you, Pamela. And now for the ceremonial gooshing and splooshing. And let's hope this works out correctly. Sploosh. I took a dump like that earlier. I'm gonna focus on just getting you in there first, and we'll situate the rest of it after. Yeah. Does this work as a baking sheet? Because the one that they made is far too round, and it has lips. You can see the lips. So no, this should be fine. Well, we're in it. Let's just keep her going. She'll be cooked through one way or another. Carve all this off. Trim the fat, so they say. Would it be easier to use my fingers? Yes. Am I willing? No. I'm now nervous that this won't cook right because of the dish that I have selected. But baking sheets, as I understand them, would not be able to make the cake in the form that it is displayed in that pictograph. So I'm gonna Hail Mary and send it. Prayers are welcome, but they are far too late. Okay, looking at glass baking sheet, there's some just casserole dishes. Oh, that was just water. I thought it was honey. What did I need to preheat the oven to? Ah, there's water on my laptop. I need to preheat it to 350. I'm gonna make this oven pre. I wasn't doing it before because I was worried that it might interfere with the audio. Let me know. Is this good? Is this bad? We'll never know. I mean, I guess I'll start cleaning stuff up. I need to get a tangerine soon. That's for another video. That's a good few pounds. Shoddy thick. Actually, looking at it from this angle, this is about as thick as their cake, but it's supposed to rise after it bakes. I'm actually nervous now. I'm a little consigned, but if it works, it's gonna be so worth it. There's so much raw flour taste in there. It's deeply unappealing, but also it's really optimistic. Makes me. It does. Oh, Peter. Remember the time, Peter. Peter.
Remember the time.
Remember the time, Peter. Remember. Never forget the time. Welcome to my tavern, stranger. Can I fix you a drink? Maybe a glass of milk? Some dishwater? If you're feeling frisky. I have no adventures for you, traveler. I only desire your company. I am bitterly lost. Perhaps today's the day that you give me a quest. These are dangerous streets that you walk, traveler. Are you prepared to face, to confront, to kill? I certainly hope so, traveler. If not, you will find many unprepared for perils. Do it! I mean, this is largely unimportant. I could just pause the recording here, probably. Whew! That is impressive. Hey boy, don't try to peek at nothing while I'm bending over here. I'd hate that. All right. Here we go. God's Godspeed, you honey emperor. I bet you it's gonna smell really sweet in here. In short order. Short order. Alright. See you in 40 minutes.
Feeling fussy. Walking in my Valenciennes.
I was watching Tim Robinson. I think you should leave now. Very good stuff. Absurdism, but played straight. It's fun. How are you doing? It smells so much like honey right now. Whoa. It might still need those extra 5 minutes. Let's get a toothpick and see. Very crispy brown on top. I should just bring you over, shouldn't I? Kind of nice. It's got a nice little brown to it. Let's see. I think she's done. I think she's done. I think we've got a honey cake on our hands. All right, 1 second. We're gonna let this cool a little bit, but it is best served warm. I should turn the oven off. Irresponsible home man myself. Plate for plating. Oh yeah, that's nicely crispened on the bottom actually. Let me get us a slice. No lie, it is a strong scent of honey. Would I say it's too much honey? No. That's like 5 pounds. That is dense. Oh, and it's so hot. I'm gonna take a little burnt piece on the side here. Well, that one tasted burnt. I was reading in the comments on the recipe, you could use some cubebs, I think is how you pronounce it, as a spice that would be thrown in historically, just to get a little bit more of that medieval taste. All right, let me make an incision and try to find a choice cut. Let's go here. First impressions, it's a very dense cake. It's dense and, oh, very hot. Ow. To my understanding, a lot of medieval dishes of this nature, they tended to be a little dense, a little thick and heavy. That was 35 minutes I had it in there for. Apparently glassware cooks a bit faster, so if you're using metal, maybe you will need the full 40. I like it. It tastes like something, and I'm not entirely certain what, but it tastes like something. It's effectively like just sweet bread. It's just dense sweet bread. I like it. You definitely wouldn't put any icing or any additional sugar into it. It's very sweet. I was a bit worried that it would be a bit bland. I can see why you would put spices into it. In medieval cooking, there was a lot of spice throwing, when you could afford it, obviously. The peasantry would just sort of take it as it came, but if you could afford it, you would be throwing some spices and stuff. I can see how some kind of, I don't know what cubeb tastes like, but I can understand how putting some spices in here would make a more interesting flavor profile. But just if you have a hankering for just a quick something sweet, medieval honey cake, honestly, it's good. I like it. I can totally see back in the olden days, if you just wanted a sweet treat, pretty easy to make, didn't take much. Absolutely, make yourself a honey cake. If you're an inexperienced baker like me and you want an ego boost, make a honey cake. 4 ingredients. It doesn't get easier than that. That is delightful. It's delightful and it's girthy, much like myself. Sweet and thick! Well, thank you guys for joining me on the first episode of Kieran's Kitchen. I hope you enjoyed. And let me know what you want to see me do in the future. It doesn't have to be cooking specifically. Maybe some arts and crafts. Maybe you have a special recipe you want to see me endeavor in. I have a whole medieval recipe book, so I'll probably break that bad boy out. If I ever find a friend, oh, to be so lucky, maybe I'll bring them along. If you like what I do here and you want to help me make people happy every day, then subscribe. But of course, as always, I love you. And I hope you have a wonderful day.